Hi guys, welcome to Single, Married, Separated, Divorced, and Single Again. And for me, Jehovah is always married again. And I'm proudly married. Allow me to be proudly married, okay? Some people will say that, oh no, this one boasts about their babies, this one boasts about their house, this one boasts about their wife, this one boasts about her husband. Allow people to boast about what they want to boast with, okay? I love my husband and I definitely feel that I'm blessed and God must love me to give me that gentleman as a husband. Oh my God, like I feel like blessed and highly favored, honestly speaking. And today I'm actually gonna talk about my husband because remember this channel is for dating tips and even tips in the marriage and all that. And today I'm going to talk about the reason I say I'm going to talk about my husband is because I'm going to talk about how to handle a very opinionated, bold, outspoken woman like myself, because sometimes I think men misunderstand how women like us needs to be handled or needs to be treated in order for our feminine energy to come out. Because women like us, most of the time, the masculine energy kind of come out. But I need to share why sometimes that comes out, because no woman wants to automatically just have a masculine energy much more than their feminine energy. And right away I have to tell you that both women and men have these energies in them. It only depends on like which one is more expressed to what extent. So a man will have a feminine and a masculine energy. A woman will have the same too, right? So welcome back. My name is Jehovah. Let's get started. Okay, so today I was sharing that we're gonna talk about how do you handle a woman who seems to be at the top of her games. You know, she's outspoken, she's obviously very smart in general. Guys, I always talk about my hair, right? Ah, my God. Most people sometimes will ask, yeah, are you sure that's not a wig? No, this is not a wig. This is my own hair, man. I love my hair. Anyway, so one of the mistakes that I think men make when they meet a woman like myself, they are trying to suppress it. Suppress, her bold personality. And it's almost like trying, I think that's where the power strikers start. Because I'm very bold, I'm very strong-willed, I'm very opinionated. So, now, when a man start, dealing with a woman like me and their option, and especially African men, I will not be able to talk about white men or men of other races because I don't know how they are, and I've never dated outside my race anyway. When I say outside my race, obviously I'm married to a Cameroonian, I was married to a Namibian, and then I got married to a Nigerian, and I'm married to a Cameroonian, right? Those are, even though it's different African countries, it's still African, right? So it's still inside my race, it's still a black man. Even if I was dating a Jamaican, it's still a black man. And I can say that all over the continent and outside the continent, I think we have kind of the same culture, even although it's not kind of completely the same. I've seen Jamaican acting like Nigerians, so you will realize that even though, like our culture kind of differs a little bit, it's still the same. Anyway, so immediately for an African man, most of the time they feel like I have to teach her a lesson, I have to, kind of put her, not really necessarily put her down. I don't think they mean it in a bad way. I think men, in that sense, they feel like, okay, so when you are so strong-willed, it's almost like you're gonna take over. They feel like maybe you are the man in the house. No, honestly speaking, women like us, I have a very young woman. Bakotora, this is you now. I'm talking about you, okay? She's very opinionated as well. But she's very feminine, like, oh my God, when we talk about, this thing, and the way she said, you could almost feel like when it comes to that, we want, like, every woman, to be quite honest, there's that feminine energy that wants to just be there. Most of the time, as I said, a woman masculinity is really pressed out by things that she has to endure, things that she has to do for herself. I personally, with my ex-husband, I was married before, obviously. So with my ex-husband, he wasn't here for a long time. So there's many things that I have to stand up for myself and do because he wasn't here. Obviously, I can't blame him because he wasn't here. So I had to do things for myself, and because of that, my masculine energy was kind of high because I have to be there for my children. I have to do things that a man would normally have to do for me. And because of that, even when he came, it was very hard for me to allow him to do certain things for me, even though he wanted to. So that's why sometimes we need to understand that no women want to actually have their masculine energy, pressed out, to be quite honest. Every woman wants to be feminine. So that's where this teaching comes in. So when you have a woman like that, the best way, and that's why I said I'm going to talk about my husband. My husband is such a gentleman. Like, when I say gentleman, I'm not only talking about a gentleman as in like a gentleman, He's a very, very gentle person. In general, he's gentle even with other people. Just the way he responds on just things, it really surprises me because sometimes it's like, what? So he's so gentle that my and I think one of the other things that really that he usually say is that my being, the way I am and so on, my opinion doesn't really threaten him. So he's not really threatened by my opinions and by my knowledge and so on. And so that's another thing. When a man has self-confidence, your confidence doesn't put him down because he already has self-confidence. And that's what I like about my husband. He's so self-confident, so he's not bothered by me having that self-confidence. So most men who wants to put you down and all that is because they don't have self-confidence. So when they meet a woman like me who have self-confidence, they get put down. They feel like, as if they cannot be men enough. But they don't know that this woman actually, us, like this type of women, we're very feminine. We want a man who can, put their foot down. And that's one of the other things that I love about my husband. He's gentle. He's like, the way he talks to me, the way he approached me about something, it's so gentle. Yet when it comes to something where I'm wrong and he feel like I'm going the wrong direction, he will not hesitate to put his foot down. And that's what I love about him. Even the way he put his foot down is so gentle. So my advice to men who happen to maybe get involved or dating a very strong-willed woman is that gentleness is the only thing that you can do for her to kind of calm down and move her back into her feminine energy. Like when I'm with my husband, right, I'm very, I don't know how to say it, but even when I'm talking about him, it's just like, sweetheart, I love you. You are such a good man. You just make me so, make me love being a woman, even though obviously I love being a woman, but you make me just love, when I'm with my husband, sorry, sweetheart. Sorry guys, anyway, when I'm with my husband, it's so easy for me to kind of being girlish and, like just being embraced in his arms. He's strong because he's so, obviously my husband is a tall guy. So even when we stand close to each other, he's still like you know, I still have to kind of look up. And, you know, when he holds me in his strong arms, and my husband is just a man. Like, you know, that type of man that you go like, wow, you know. So, honestly speaking, and the one other thing that I love about him is that this man knows, it's almost like he knows how to speak in my love language. Like, I'm very touchy, he's very touchy, and he loves forehead kisses, which is the kisses that I love. I love forehead kisses. He loves that, and he loves holding my hand, and sometimes come behind me. Like, he is just, and I think one of the other thing that he likes is like words of affirmation. I'm not so into words of affirmation. I think he is into it, and because he's into it, I love, for me it comes naturally for me to tell him, you know, how handsome he is, and he's very shy, he blush a lot. Imagine making a black man blush, right? So these are the things, you know, even though I'm not so into like being told like, oh, I love you, whatever. It's not that I don't appreciate that, but it's just that it's not something that I'm like so much into. But he's very much, you know, the kind of man who love words of affirmation. You're beautiful, you're pretty, you're smart, like all those things. But because I know that's his love language, I now also speak in his love language to him as well. So I'm very very fortunate to be able to have met someone, you know, at my age. Obviously now I'm going towards 50, so on. So yeah, I'm very fortunate. But like I said, this is for the men. When you meet a woman like that, stop suppressing her feelings, and sometimes maybe not acknowledging like how she feel, and trying to suppress her opinion, try to suppress her way of thinking and so on, because you don't think that way. I think one of the other things that me and my husband so much complement each other with is the fact that we can talk about politics, and he knows so much more than I know, and I'm like, where did God got this guy? He's almost like, I can mark out of 20, I can mark 22 out of 20. Like, when God gave me this man, he surpasses all my human understanding about a man. Like, he's a gentleman, he's loving, he's extremely good and bad. Oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but that's the truth. He's a good when it comes to that. He's a good cook, although I love cooking for him and he enjoys that. And he's loving with children, he's loving with other people. My God, what more can I ask? Anyway, from me, Jehovah,